With the Game Awards right around the corner and Balatro being nominated for Game of the Year with a cast of incredible games like Black Myth Wukong and Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, I think it's time for me to talk about why I personally find roguelikes so incredible, especially as I've gotten older, and why you need to start playing them. Now I need to quickly contrast roguelikes and roguelites. Roguelikes include permanent death and have no upgrades outside of a run, such as Slay the Spire, Balatro, and Brotato, and these aren't even truly classic roguelikes because they have so many unlockables within them to make future runs easier. Roguelites allow you to spend resources gained in a run for permanent upgrades like Hades, Vampire Survivors, and Against the Storm. Both typically involve procedurally generated worlds to enhance the randomness and uniqueness of each run. I'm going to be talking mostly about roguelites, but we use the term roguelike interchangeably because, let's face it, I'm getting older and I need all the help I can get in games, which is probably why I haven't finished Elden Ring yet. The first and most rewarding reason why you need to start playing roguelikes is that they have the best progression systems. I love progression, unlocking new items, and getting achievements in games, and roguelikes allow me to do that all the time. It scratches that dopamine itch that I need at the end of the day in such a unique way, whether it's unlocking a new Joker in Balatro, another item to use in Brotato, or a new hero or legendary item in Risk of Rain 2. I don't care what it is, just give me another hit.
You're like my own personal brand of heroin.
Quit heroin, play Balatro instead. And this rush of dopamine is what I believe has pushed the industry towards making more roguelikes because unlocking these new weapons, items, and skills refreshes the experience that you have and gets you addicted to their progression systems so you can find new and more powerful items to have better and better runs. Knowing that I have more things to unlock and achieve keeps me coming back to try and get an even more godly run. I've noticed that once I have unlocked everything in a roguelike, I either stop playing it or I start over completely so I can unlock everything again. I have Balatro and Slay the Spire on both my PC and Switch for this very reason. And so I could get my girlfriend addicted to them too. I literally bought Soulstone Survivor because of the talent tree and the Steam achievements. Just look at all that potential progression. It was also only $10 and I was bored on a Saturday. If you love progression, you'll probably love roguelikes. You don't need your boss to call you a winner when you can have this little guy tell you whatever you want. The next thing that has really caused my love of roguelikes to grow as I've gotten older and busier is because of their pick-up and play capabilities. It's an open and closed gaming experience. I don't have to remember where I was in a story or any complicated controls, I can simply pick it up and play a run or two. There have been too many times where I only have like an hour to game and I start a new quest in a game, I'm looking at you Horizon, and it takes longer than that hour or I finish one in 40 minutes and then don't know what to do with my last 20 minutes, so I just run around looking for a quick quest to do almost like busy work at my day job, and that doesn't feel great. Roguelikes completely get rid of this. The runs are often less than 30 minutes, some even shorter than that, and usually even the godliest runs are never longer than an hour. And when I finish, it feels like a complete experience. I leave it feeling satisfied. You can also pause where you are in a run and come back to it at any time, so if you get interrupted, you can just pause and then jump back in and refamiliarize yourself with where you were and keep playing. Or if you only have 15 minutes, instead of scrolling Reddit or TikTok on your phone, you can start a run of Slay the Spire or Balatro and work towards beating a new Ascension or Stake and make that time more meaningful doing something you love. At the top of my list right now is Dome Keeper, where you crash land in a dome and dig downwards collecting iron, water, and cobalt to upgrade your dome and mining capabilities while defending your dome from increasingly bigger and bigger waves of enemies. The goal is to eventually dig down deep enough to find the relic and fight a huge final wave of enemies. Dome Keeper strikes such a perfect balance between the excitement and challenge of combat and the satisfying and simple mining mechanic where you're always looking for your next iron deposit. And the perfect part about this game is that you can change your map size, going from small maps, which give you a short experience, certainly under 30 minutes, to a huge map which can lead to hour-plus runs, but allow you to get so many more upgrades depending on what you have time for. It is also a perfect game to pause because it is super easy to figure out where you left off and where you need to dig next. Downwards. This game is also so nostalgic for me because it feels like that browser game I used to play as a kid where you played as a drill and you needed to dig deeper and deeper down to get better ores to sell off and upgrade your drill. What a time that was playing that in the computer lab instead of learning how to type correctly. I definitely don't regret that at all in my adult life. Being able to have this open and closed experience removes a lot of stress I have when I think about what game I want to play if I have limited time and don't have a specific game I want to play in mind because there are so many excellent roguelikes I can just pop into and have a great time in. Speaking of having a great time, which is the point of video games, is that roguelikes are simple, easy, and oftentimes mindless fun. Now when I say mindless, I don't mean you don't have to think. I mean that it has next to no stress around it. It's an experience that you will likely win, but there's no stress on actually winning or really paying attention because the runs are so short and non-committal. It is just a time for you to play a game and for your mind to be at ease. Even though I have to constantly be thinking about what relics I have, what cards I can draw, and what enemies can do in Slay the Spire, it doesn't feel mentally taxing. It's so hard to explain, and my girlfriend doesn't understand how I find it so relaxing to juggle so many different complex elements, but it just does. Brotato is a great example. I am mindlessly strafing and dodging hundreds of projectiles and charging enemies every round, but it allows my mind to achieve inner peace.
Inner peace. Inner peace. That's cool.
A great example of a game that simplifies its core mechanic is Against the Storm, which is a roguelike city builder, where you build around your hearth, exploring glades around the map, looking for ways to earn reputation points and win the run. I love city building, but I don't want to deal with the management and the headache that comes later in city building games. I played City Skylines a fair bit, and it's a great game, but once I reach like 50 to 100,000 population, the traffic management, the service management, the policy management, and the money management just becomes too tedious. So I usually just restart the game once I get to that point so I can see the city be created from the ground up. Against the Storm allows me to solely play the start of the game and avoid the mid-game lull that I always hit. Right as I start to feel the experience lose its luster, the run is over, and I get to naturally restart and build up my city again. It is a brilliant roguelike that allows me to fulfill my love of city building without all the tedious management that usually comes with it. Roguelikes are usually pretty simple games, but that doesn't mean that they can't be incredible. Playing cards have been around for at least 1,000 years, but we still play simple games using them. For me, it's nice to have such a simple set of backup games to play and progress through. The next reason I love roguelikes is that they have so much replayability. I personally struggle with playing a story-based game more than one time, so once I've beaten it and the side quests I've wanted to, it typically gets uninstalled and I move on to a new game. I literally have 2.5 times more hours in Slay the Spire than Sekiro, and Sekiro was one of my favorite games, but once I beat it, the experience felt complete. I didn't need to spend another 30 hours playing through it again. However, when I slayed my first Spire, I was left feeling like a kid after going on their first roller coaster. Let's do that again. And again. And then probably again. I've been playing Slay the Spire since it came out in 2019 and have played over 245 runs, which is not a lot when comparing to people who really love Slay the Spire, but it is interesting to show how this game has grabbed more of my attention than Sekiro. Part of this is because roguelikes are meant to be replayed. The procedurally generated maps and randomness of the items you get make every single run slightly different. On top of this, you are incredibly limited in the number of items you get per game, so it forces you to try new things, freshening up the experience. And the low stakes of each run, which I mentioned earlier, means that it feels like you're encouraged to try new characters and items. If it doesn't work out, now you know, and you learn for your next run. But there is a beauty in trying to make every item combination work and win a run with it. Hades actually encourages you to try all of the infernal arms by making it so that you can only unlock one item from a boss with each infernal arm. If you defeat the Bone Hydra the first time with the sword, you'll get a diamond. Every other run after that, you will only get more darkness. You have to beat the Bone Hydra with a new weapon if you want to get another diamond, increasing the variability you'll experience and the fun you'll have with the game. In addition to the progression I talked about before through weapons, items, and skills, roguelikes often have some form of difficulty modifier, whether it's a higher heat in Hades, Ascension and Slay the Spire, danger in Brotato, stakes in Balatro. Most roguelikes have a way to turn up the difficulty and continue challenging you, meaning the bar to complete the game is always moving. And this gives you something new to aspire to beat, regardless of whether you've unlocked everything or not. The next reason why you need to start playing roguelikes and what gives them their particular charm is because the focus the developers have is on making engaging and fun gameplay versus a strive for graphics and profits. As Ubisoft executives start salivating at the idea of making another reskin Assassin's Creed game that doesn't add anything new to it, the developer of Balatro is redefining the game and getting nominated for Game of the Year. Balatro starts with an incredibly simple concept. You are given a standard 52-card deck and use those cards to make poker hands that give you a score. The more complex poker hand, the higher score you get. Simple, right? But then they add jokers, negative jokers, tarot cards, spectral cards, enhancement stamps, multiple of your multiple. The developer's creativity spun off the incredibly simple and well-known concept of poker has made it incredibly accessible, but also so intricate and unique. I've never played a game quite like it. It is such a basic concept to start with, but they have created a depth to it by not capping the potential score you can get. After some time, you start to push yourself further and further to get hands that are worth 1 million, 10 million, or even 100 million. It is addicting to try to beat your previous highest hand and find new broken decks to get to higher and higher antes. And the best part of all of it? It's only $15, or $10 on your phone. I know when I boot up a roguelike, I expect some of the similar tropes and progression systems, but usually the gameplay has something so unique to it that I just fall in love with the ingenuity and care that goes into making them, which is the next reason you should play roguelikes. They're usually designed by smaller studios, and you can really feel that in the artwork and the ideas inside them. Balatro was developed by a single person. I felt this particularly with Hades, which had a core team of 16 people. And yes, I know enough people have already stroked the Zagman's ego in roguelike videos in the past, but it's for good cause. The voice actor of Zagreus makes you feel his pain and joy.
I hate it when they fight.
The relationships that he makes with those around him are believable.
Admit it, Meg. You can't stop thinking about me.
Don't flatter yourself. I think of you in pain. And now there's no more need for the imagination.
The character that they give every single person through their script and choice of voice actors is phenomenal.
Prayed mostly to my mother, lad. I always had my doubts the gods were listening.
Think for when you reach the surface, Zagreus. You call upon me then and there, all right?
You're getting somewhere, man. I understand you made it up to Asphodel before. Now that is progress. Keep it up. You keep on going, yeah?
The gorgeous art style teleports you into Zagreus' world, and the choice of color palettes makes you feel the emotion that goes along with where you are, whether that is the doom and gloom of Tartarus or the beautiful Elysium. The care that this world was crafted with is astounding, which is something we rarely see these days out of much larger game studios as the never-ending search for more profits continues. You can feel the effort and care that goes into these games, and it makes the experience that you have with them feel so much more personal. It is more important now than ever to provide support to these incredibly creative and talented development teams. It's like when you were a kid and your grandma knitted you a scarf. I know I thought, damn, this scarf sucks way more than the store-bought one I have, and now I'm wishing I could just get one more from her because I now cherish the thought and time that it took her to make it, and it makes it so much more special because I can see and feel the care that went into it. And I often feel this way about roguelikes. And this care is kind of like the care I put into making this video. So if you like the video, give it a like. And if you like me, subscribe. If you guys want me to make another video on or have an idea of a roguelike video I should make, please let me know down below in the comments. Seriously, I love roguelikes, and you can find me playing them often on my Twitch stream that I link down below. I hope this has spurred you to pick up or revisit roguelikes and that you enjoy them like I have. Until next time, take it easy and game on.